Hey everyone, and welcome back. So the gag order is sustained, and I'm talking about the gag order of Donald Trump by the District Attorney of New York by Judge Juan Merchan. And more importantly, how important it is to have the protection for everyone, which of course includes myself. This clip that you're going to now see from Political Beatdown is where Ben and I discuss it in particular.
Cohen, New York's highest court, which is called the Court of Appeals because New York loves to make it extra confusing for law students who have to try to remember all the different court systems across the country. The trial court in New York is called the New York Supreme Court. The highest court is the Court of Appeals. So Donald Trump appealed the gag order in the Manhattan criminal case where he was convicted on 34 separate felony counts. First to the appellate division, which is like the intermediate court of appeals. He lost there. He then brought it to the highest court, the Court of Appeals in New York. And the highest court said basically, why are you even bringing this to us? This does not raise substantial constitutional questions. Like, get out of here. Like, look, you're a convicted felon. You're a criminal defendant. This is not a controversial issue that there would be a gag order that prevents you from attacking the family members of court staff and the judge, from attacking the jury and attacking witnesses. That's what's called being a criminal defendant. That's just what happens. It's not a violation of the First Amendment. It says, appeal dismissed without cost by the court sua sponte, which, by the way, it means don't even submit us extra things. Like, we're just doing this on our own. Go away. Like, they didn't even have to look at any filings. Just don't bring this here.
And let's not forget that Trump can, he can seek leave to appeal. You know, it's again, you know, what's Donald's entire MO? Delay. Not this time. You know, not this time.
Yeah, appeal dismissed without cost by the court sua sponte upon the ground that no substantial constitutional question is directly involved. I mean, Cohen, you're you are a protected person under the existing gag order. What do you make of it? I mean, look, it's just not a normal thing for a criminal defendant, now a convicted felon, to behave the way he does. He is free. By the way, I mean, he still talks about you all the time. He thinks that it's like, he thinks that just because he calls you like the lawyer, that gets around it. I think that should get addressed. I hope that gets addressed by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, because there were multiple times I thought where he violated the gag order during the trial.
Five more times he violated the gag order. 3 of them were about me. And there is a motion which is going to be heard, holding him again in contempt of that gag order. Let me be clear about something. You know, the problem with Donald is he's very myopic. He's kind of like a donkey, and you have a carrot. Remember, like the old, what was it? Like Our Gang, right? The Little Rascals, and they had a donkey, and to get the donkey to move, they put a carrot in front of its nose that he can never eat, and it got him to start moving. That's the problem. Donald can't see past the tip of his own nose. Why? He needs to go now on July 11th. He's going for sentencing on 34 guilty charges. 34 counts, guilt. On top of that, he's now violated the court order 10 times, to which he was fined $10,000. Now, let's not all pretend for a split second that $10,000 means anything to him. Even if it was $100,000, he wouldn't care, because he'd find a MAGA moron to pay it, or a whole group of them to pay it. So he's not thinking about the money. It's what's the repercussion to him for those violations. Well, so far, Merchan has been so Solomonian. I'm not talking about that. Right now, it's by law, it's $1,000 max for a violation. They hit him with the 10,000. But when it comes time to sentencing, including the fact that the entire PSR, the pre-sentence report meeting with the probation office, lasted under 25 minutes, which is impossible. Impossible. Just taking down your personal information takes at least 20 minutes to do it. It's much more in depth than you would think. What's going to end up happening? I believe at sentencing, this is where Judge Merchan is going to say, Mr. Trump, you were found guilty by a jury of your peers on 34 counts. The maximum is technically 4 years per count. Nevertheless, because all of the counts revolve around one specific scenario, that it will run consecutive. And as a result, the most that he could potentially sentence him would be to 4 years. However, as the judge, he is permitted to do anything as it relates. The discretion that judges have is enormous. And Judge Merchan, if Trump acted different, I believe that he would suspend the sentence. He would do something based upon what we're dealing with here. A former president, yada, yada. But not only has he shown zero contrition, he has actually gone out of his way to attack the judge, to attack the jury, to attack the judge's daughter, to attack witnesses, to attack the Department of Justice, the entire process. And this cannot stand, because if you allow somebody, whether it's a former president or you and I, Ben, to attack the system to the extent that he is doing, with the ferocity and the use of members of Congress, how does the system contain itself? How does it move forward? How does it advance? How do we, as a society, as a democratic republic, move forward? And the answer is you cannot.
Yeah, his behavior is an affront to our entire system of law and order. And the fact that you have the Republican Party that countenances that and promotes it, and then you even had those Republican attorney generals from 24 states. They wanted to petition to be amici and file an amicus brief to support Donald Trump's claim that Trump should be able to attack law enforcement by lying that they were trying to assassinate him, which is just false. And you have Republican attorney generals, the top law enforcement officers in the state, who's saying that Donald Trump should be able to attack the DOJ and FBI. It just goes to show you that the entire Republican Party is completely gone to rot at this point because of MAGA. There used to be some issues that we could have, important, intelligent discussions with. We could agree to disagree on certain things, agree to have civil discussions. It's just all kind of MAGA rot right now.
Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. We're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.